Lincoln Q1 property market performance. In the articles on the Lincoln property market, we like to provide an insight into the real story of what is happening in our Lincoln and national property market and address the misconceptions that some of the doom-monger media have been spreading. Despite almost daily reports of a housing market crash since September 2022, the data shows that the British and Lincoln property market is doing okay. So, let's dive into the stats and start with the lifeblood of the housing market, new properties coming up for sale. Nationally, 444,668 UK properties came onto the market in Q1 this year. Interesting when you compared that number to the 407,946 properties in Q1 2023 and against the 7-year Q1 average of 403,105 new properties on the market. New properties are a vital bellwether of the property market. Why? Well, in 2008, the number of properties coming on the market in Q1 was double that of 2007. This meant supply vastly outstripped demand and hence economics dictated, and house prices fell. The balance of houses coming on the market and how many sell determine what happens to property prices. So how do you know if we are heading for another Lincoln house price crash as we did in 2008 or not? Let me share a quick and easy way to find out before anyone else. Initially, perform a Rightmove search in Lincoln and write down the number of properties for sale every week. Next, carry out the same search, but this time include those homes which are sold subject to contract and make a note of that number. The difference between the two numbers will show the number of properties sold subject to contract. The final step is to calculate the ratio between the first two numbers, i.e., what's available versus what's been sold. If the ratio of sold properties to available properties rises monthly, the market is improving. If the ratio is falling, the market is slowing. If you really wish to go deep into this, you could split the search into property type and bedrooms that you are selling or buying. For example, detached, semi-terraced, townhouse or apartments. This will help you to judge demand and supply and time the market to your advantage. Next, looking at house sales nationally. 302,382 properties sold subject to contract in Q1 2024. However, the devil is in the data. Comparing with previous stats, in Q1 2023, 276,482 properties sold subject to contract, whilst the 8-year Q1 average has been 304,363. Obviously, the medium-term 8-year UK average includes Q1 2021, where 397,402 properties had sold, and Q1 2022 when 341,888 properties sold. Both of those years were exceptional. However, when we compare Q1 2024 to the Q1 average of 2017, 18, 19, 20, a more reasonable 282,488 houses were sold on average. Next, I wish to look at what is selling nationally by price band. 35.4% of the properties that came on the market in Q1 2024 were in the price band up to £250,000, yet 42.9% of the home sales were in this band. 41% of the properties that came on the market in Q1 2024 were in the £250,000 to £500,000 price band, yet only 39.6% of the home sales were in this band. 13.4% of the properties that came on the market in Q1 2024 were in the £500,000 to £750,000 price band, yet only 10.7% of the home sales were in this band. 5.1% of the properties that came on the market in Q1 2024 were in the £750,000 to £1 million price band, yet only 3.7% of the home sales were in this band. Finally, 5.1% of the properties that came on the market in Q1 2024 were in the £1 million plus price band, yet only 3.1% of the home sales were in this band. Looking locally at the Q1 stats, starting with the number of properties in the Lincoln area, LN1 to LN6, that came onto the market in Q1 2024. 1,804 properties came onto the market. The average price of those Lincoln properties coming to the market was £277,463. The price range band that saw the most listings was the £200,000 to £250,000 range, where 375 Lincoln area properties came onto market, followed by the £150,000 to £200,000 range, where 321 properties came onto the market. Now, looking at sales in Lincoln. 1,003 properties were sold in Q1 2024. The average price of those Lincoln properties selling was £246,713. The price range band that saw the most sales was the £150 to £200,000 range, where 224 Lincoln area properties were sold, followed by the £200,000 to £250,000 range with 200 Lincoln area properties sold subject to contract. Typical first-time buyer properties are leading the recovery. Although economic turbulence remains, the UK property market is gradually moving towards pre-pandemic activity levels. Some of you might have noticed with the national listings and sales figures mentioned above, that the lower-priced range of properties are performing better than the higher-priced properties. For example, just over a third, 35.4% of UK listings were £250,000 or below, yet that price band accounted for over 1 in 2.3 house sales, 42.9%. Meanwhile, at the other end of the scale, 8.9% of listings in the UK in Q1 24 were in the £750,000 to £2 million price band, yet only 6.2% of the sales were in the same band. In the £2 million plus price range, even though the numbers are very small, the difference is quite startling. 1.3% of listings were £2 million plus, but only 0.55% of sales agreed were in the same range. So, what does this all mean for Lincoln homeowners wanting to sell in this market? Realistic pricing when you put your house on the market is everything. In Q1 2024, there have been 198,682 price reductions on the 633,417 properties on the market. In comparison, there were 243,602 price reductions in Q1 2023 on the 590,481 properties and 119,068 price reductions in Q1 2022 on 424,796 properties. It is better to come on the market at a realistic price to start when the property is fresh to the market, than go on at a high price, lose that initial honeymoon period, and then reduce it, only for some people to wonder what was wrong with the property. Although higher mortgage rates and economic headwinds present challenges, many potential Lincoln home buyers who were effectively sidelined in the fierce bidding wars of 2021-22 will find that a slower-paced Lincoln property market gives them time to plan a strategy for their next move as we go into the traditionally busy post-Easter house buying season. While the demand for quality Lincoln houses is still healthy, if the asking price is above the current market, sellers may need help finding buyers. Determining a realistic price is crucial but not easy. Many sellers look at similar properties on property portals, but those prices may be overinflated. Estate agents have more tools at their disposal, such as comparing sale prices for comparable properties, pound per square foot, and thinking about prospective purchasers in the market for the type of property under valuation. Although getting the price right can be difficult, revising it downwards quickly is essential. Lincoln homeowners should ensure that their property looks better value for money than similar properties. If you plan to trade up, it is good sense to sell at realistic prices, as you will gain substantial savings compared to moving in the last few years. However, if you don't need to sell urgently, becoming a landlord could be an option. Again, I can help on that if needs be. Nevertheless, Lincoln homeowners turned landlords should consider that if property values do drift downwards in the coming 12 to 18 months, it may take a few more years after that to recover to those values seen last year. Whatever the rest of 2024 brings, moving home should mostly be based on your circumstances and not solely on what is happening to Lincoln property prices. If you would like an informal chat about your potential move without any obligation or cost, get me around for a chat. I promise I will tell you like it is, then you can decide what is best for you and your family. In the meantime, do let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget, if you would like a chat about where you sit in the current market, do not hesitate to give me a call on 01522 512 513 or drop me a message on social media. To ensure all our clients get the very best experience and a total marketing strategy as unique as their homes, we only list 20 properties per month. Our April and May slots are now available to book. You are always a name and not just a number, with Walters, who have been opening doors since 1790.